Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming to the Europa Hotel once again for the homecoming for Michael Conlan, who's going to be fighting on June the 30th at the SSE Arena. And as you see from the people who are gathered here today, as well as having Michael at the top of the card, we've got a wonderful bill in store for you. If I can just run through it. So we've got Tyrone McKenna against Phil Sutcliffe Jr., Declan Garrity against John O'Carroll. Paddy Gallagher's going to be fighting Gary Corcoran. Gary currently away sparring Terence Crawford, who in turn is preparing for his world title challenge against Jeff Horn. We've got Tyrone McCullough against Joe Ham. So all in all, a brilliant undercard as well to the main event. And representing NTK is Jamie Conlan alongside me. Another tremendous Belfast occasion in store. I'm thinking of getting a second property over here. It's the place to be at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this bill alone is fantastic. It's an Irish boxing fan's wet dream. It's everything. You know, I'm not saying because Tyrone McKenna is a great looking fella, but if the fights are 50-50 fights, Michael has a fantastic opponent that he's got to get out of the way first in May 12th, and has in a huge fight for June 30th. It's something that every boxing fan should be proud to be a part of, and every fighter here will be giving their all, and I'm very excited.
And fantastic to see your brother back, eh?
Not really, because he's my younger brother, but no, it's great. After Rio, this is his first fight back in the city, and these are the people who stood by him when the thing happened in Rio. These are the people that's been backing him in New York, travelling all over America with him, and now he gets to come back and give these a fantastic night of boxing.
And as you say, he's got one to go through before that. But before we speak to Michael, let's talk to some of the other guys who are here today. Start off with Paddy Gallagher, who's sitting down in front of me. Paddy going to be taking on Gary Corcoran. And I mean, on paper, Paddy, Gary's not here, as I say, because he's sparring in the United States. On paper, this is a great fight, isn't it?
Yeah, very good. Obviously, he's going for Corcoran, or he's name dropped in the ring, so it is. He's got calling it Crawford or over sparring Crawford, whatever. But it's very good sparring for him as well. But what 5-time world champion, but he hasn't got a Celtic title, so he's nothing on me. But apart from that, yes, he's over. He's doing his bit and all as well. He can't make it here. I got offered this fight on Monday. Obviously, I hope you all know he's better be. I was fighting last week in America and I lost in very close points. And I got home on Sunday, and I can't even remember since then, so I can't remember taking this fight, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I still got jet lag, but no, it just goes shows you how good NTK is and how you must think of me. I lost a very close points fight on Friday, got home on Sunday, got over a bit of the things, and then I was talking to the management, Dando, and he says, well done, close fight and all the rest of it, and I got on them right away. And he, right, tell you what, this is what I went, and just started saying about the top 5 in Britain. I'm number 6. 3 of them, Josh Kelly has a fight. Bradley Skeets just coming off of lost the first to him, and Frankie Gann's looking for the European title. So that's them 2-3 out, more or less. And I said there's Johnny Garton and Gary Corcoran. Can you get me a fight as soon as possible on this show or the Frampton show? That was about 12 or 1 o'clock. I phoned me at 6:30 over the moon. Paddy Gallagher, and I thought he was talking about trying to get me paid from America, but he offered me a fight, and I said happy days, let's do it. So that's within a couple of hours, straight on the case, got me this fight. Got more or less confirmed last night. I was told to come here, and down I am, ready to rock. All the boys are rocking suits and all, but Chris, I promise you, next suit I'll have it on next time. And very hard fight. I don't know what he was saying, but on paper, and I didn't want to finish it, so I don't know if he's running me down or playing Gary up. But very hard fight for both of us. He's coming off a loss against a world champion, obviously, so it shows you the pedigree he is. And then coming off a loss against a world class fighter as well, so it's definitely going to be a cracking fight. With me, it's always entertaining fights. That's not being big-headed. Out of 17 fights for that night, only one have been born. That's because the journeyman didn't want knocked out and he was trying his best. So always good quality for money, and it's going to be an amazing show. So really looking forward to it, and someone else can have a go top of that.
As speeches go from top tables, I think that was pretty much up there, wasn't it? Brilliant stuff. Thanks a lot, Paddy. Now, Tyrone McCullough alongside him. Tyrone's going to be fighting Joe Ham, Scotsman, who's an undefeated fighter, undefeated in 14 fights. Tyrone also undefeated in 10 fights. Another one which, on paper, Tyrone, you've got a hard act to follow here with Paddy alongside you. Tell us about this fight, because on paper it would look like another tremendous match.
Yeah, well, unfortunately I have to go after Paddy here. I'm not a big a talker as him, but as you say, on paper he's 14-0, I'm 10-0. On paper it looks like a really good fight, but in reality I know I'm going to knock him out on the night within 6 rounds.
And what about fighting on this bill? Because, you know, we're giving it the big build up here, but it's going to be a tremendous occasion at the SSE, and it must be wonderful to be a part of it.
It's unbelievable. I fought last week there in the Clare-Frampton bill, and to be back out in this bill so soon is fantastic. And I think the whole country's been waiting for McKennan's homecoming ever since he went pro, since the Rio Olympics, and just look at undercard. It's a fantastic undercard, and it's going to be an absolutely amazing night.
What is it about boxing for you over here, Tyrone? I mean, as an outsider coming into Belfast, I just love coming over here because it just seems as though the whole country is so switched on to boxing. Do you sense that?
Definitely. Belfast is the capital of boxing. There's no other, in Ireland there's no other place to be for boxing, and it's just getting better and better as time goes on, and I think MTK and Frank Warren are playing a big part in that. Now,
the next match we're talking about is the beautifully suited Tyrone McKenna down here, who's up against Phil Sutcliffe Jr. And again, this is a rivalry which you boxing people will know all about. Tremendous rivalry, and there's been plenty of exchanges between them on social media. Let's start with you, Phil. What's your thoughts on Tyrone as a fighter and as a man?
At best, he got drawn in his last fight. At best.
Okay.
But here we go. Pretty big balls. But listen, and anyway, we'll see you anyway on the night. It's a fantastic bill, and congratulations to Mick getting his homecoming finally, as for the Belfast people, and there'll be a lot of Dublin people travelling up to see Michael himself to fight on the bill. But it's a great bill, as you can see already. It's turning out, and that's where we haven't even started putting other fights on the bill with the MTK. So listen, obviously between Tyrone and myself, he was shouting all names and the whole lot, making the Billy Big Balls. And so look, these things happen, and that's why you're in the game for, to fight everyone. So the fight's back on now. So unfortunately, I had to pull out at the last fight due to a knee injury, which is healed now, and hopefully stays that way through this camp. But look, we'll see what happens on the night, and after his last performance, I wouldn't be really thinking too much into it.
What do you think of him as a fighter?
What could I say, really?
You can say what you like. Everybody else is doing.
He didn't want to come down and sparring me again the last time, but anyway, we'll see again on the night. Tyrone is a fighter. Tyrone is a fighter himself. Look, he's a southpaw fighter. He's tall. He's rangy. So anyone that fights me is tall. And anyway, regardless, I'm 5'6". Everyone that fights normally twice, 3 times towering over me, so I won't make any odds. And anyway, but no, he's decent enough fighter, and listen, it's just another fight to me. I'll get that out of the way and move on and try to get myself back to winning ways. And I've had a kind of a little long time out of fights, in and out fights, so just want to get back on the boat now and get the fights rolling again.
Tyrone, how do you respond to that?
He's talking about spars. Who talks about spars? You didn't turn up to the fight 4 weeks and you're going to talk about a sport, but anyway.
4 weeks, Tyrone.
4 weeks out.
Oh, the small. Did you want the medical report?
No, I'm not having it. But anyway, the fight's back on. I promised him I'd fight him anytime, any place, anywhere. I got this call yesterday to fight him. I only fought last week, but I accepted straight away because I'm not scared of any man. I believe I'm the best man, with the best league welter in the country. And I believe on the 30th of June I'm going to prove it. There's been a lot of talk between me and him. He's saying I'm not that good. I should have drew him in the last fight. I think that's ridiculous, we all know it. But we'll see how good I am.
What irritates you most about him, Tyrone? How does he, or why does he seemingly get under your skin as he does?
It doesn't get under the skin. This is boxing. I'm always up for fighting people. I'm always up for having a bit of banter, a bit of talk during the press conference, during the build-up. So it's just a normal thing for me. I'm well used to it. I'm well used to domestic fights. I've had 3 Dublin v Belfast or Belfast v Belfast fights, so I'm well used to this kind of pressure on fights and kind of build-up. So yeah. And
you're coming into this on the back of what was a very good win against an awkward guy in Anthony Upton.
At best.
Okay. What did you say, sorry, before you were rudely interrupted?
He's going to be a very different sort of opponent to your last man, Anthony Upton.
Yeah, well, he suits me down the ground. He comes forward, he tries to knock you out. He can try his best because it's not going to happen. He's going to get knocked out. I don't give him past 5 rounds.
Not get past 5 rounds. What do you reckon, Phil?
Cold in here, isn't it?
And more a jacket, you do?
Yeah. Give the land of yours, will you? Fucking smash them with your false glasses there, your see-through glasses.
Lauren, do you want the prescriptions that you're talking about medical?
Yeah, I think you give the land of your glasses, will you?
It's going to be a good one. That's Tyrone and Phil, who are going to be squaring off on June 30th, and that's just one of the support bouts. That's certainly one to look forward to, as indeed is the next one that I'm going to talk about now, which is John O'Carroll, here to my right, against Declan Garrity. It's old enmities renewed. If you don't know, they fought previously in 2014. Tremendous scrap. It was a 4-rounder and one of Ireland's fights of the year. Really was an outstanding fight, but it finished with Declan disqualified in the last round, in the 4th and final round, and so Jono got the victory. What went wrong, Declan? Talk us through it.
Got a little bit heated, and it was a dirty fight on both our half. Kept on hitting me digs in the back of the head. I ended up throwing the elbow. The referee gave me a public warning. So I said, I turned the sink out. I was like, I'll go to finish it, and I hit him a shot. He stepped back, he fell against the ropes, he hung on to me. When he hung on to me, I just tried to push him off me. My head and my arms went up. Referee jumped and disqualified me. Did you think you were winning the fight? Well, I was winning the fight, yeah. I won every round. It was a good fight, good tough fight. Both have moved on. It's 2014, both have changed since then, totally 2 different fighters, so there's not a whole lot to look into. So what are your thoughts about getting in there again against Jono on the 30th of June? Because you know, we talked about, and everybody can see, these guys are not exactly on each other's Christmas cards lists, Tyrone and Phil, and it's the same with you two guys, isn't it? No, I don't hate Jono. How can you hate a man who's doing the same job as you're doing? He's trying to be a world champion, I'm trying to be a world champion. Same as Mick, Phil, Tyrone, everyone's trying to get to the same spot. But he's in my way, I'm in his way, so I'm really looking forward to the fight. What happens when the fight takes place? How do you see it? I believe I'm going to give him a boxing lesson. And that's it. John, looking forward to your boxing lesson?
I'm looking forward to seeing what he comes to tell with. You need to know boxing to give a boxing lesson. Deco does a million things wrong. Like if you do everything. Tell me what I do wrong. Go on. So you put your head past your knee, so you're off balance. Okay. You lean back terribly, so you're completely off balance. When I catch you with a backhand, you're gonna fall. Okay. You try your jab, you drop it. Your head movement's brilliant. You come square footed. When you try your backhand, your whole foot comes around. Yeah, like, what do you do right? Man, you just tell me what you do right.
You find what they were in the night of the fight,
That's not answering the question. I just asked you a question. You asked me a question. I told you the answer. Tell me what you do right.
When I fight you, you'll see what they do right.
He does all the basics wrong. Like, completely all the basics wrong. I do all the basics correct. Don't do anything amazingly. Don't need to do anything amazingly, because what I do is effective. If he tries to fight, I'll rough him up. I'll drag him into a dog fight. He's like a poodle. He likes to bite your ankles and then run. You know what I mean? I just want to go head forward, smash him up, finish him, and put all this to rest before I move on with my career. Don't get me wrong, I really respect Deco, because if I hadn't got that fight in the first place, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So I have to take my hat off to him. I got the opportunity. He was 6 fights, so I was out of the ring for 2 years. And I was nobody. I got on a big show, took the opportunity in 4 weeks' time. I said, I want a 6-rounder because I know he can box. He was a good amateur boxer. Should have stayed amateur, in my own opinion, but he dropped it back down to 4 rounds on the way-in. Like, so, to me, he doesn't like long fights. He hasn't got heart. He's a different man to what I am. You know, me and him are 2 totally different kettle of fish. And that's what we're going to see on the night. This isn't 3 rounds, you know what I mean? You're a good fighter for 3 or 4 rounds. But you haven't got heart, mate. And I'm going to smash you up. Plus, you haven't got a chin. So, we're going to see, when it gets to the nitty-gritty, we're going to see who does right and who does wrong.
Lovely, I can't wait.
How do you compare as a fighter in 2018 compared with how you were in 2014, John? Because you seem to have moved on a level.
Well, I broke my hand and I was out of the ring for 2 years. Then I went to Australia because I wasn't boxing, I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't working. And to be quite honest, yeah, when I got the phone call for Deco, I was a stoner. And I was just playing boxing. My dad used to say, you're playing boxing, you're not even boxing. I was playing boxing, in fairness. I was a stoner on the force, and I took out 4 weeks. I got sick for 3 weeks training for that. Constantly, every day, I pushed myself hard. Got sick. And yeah, I still wanted the 6 rounds. Now, since that fight, I got prize fighter. And then I won prize fighter. It was a shock to me as much as everyone else that I won prize fighter. It was like, I wasn't sure what I was capable of, because I enjoy fighting, I enjoy boxing. I never really looked at boxing as a career. Obviously I would have loved to box as a career, and I am doing that now. But to me that was just a dream. As a kid, knowing people say follow your dreams, all that, like, to me I didn't think I could do that, because I started 15, 16, I started late. Now since I won that fight, won prize fighter, I've been taking it seriously. I'm completely dedicated now. I don't cheat meals, I eat really good. I dedicate myself to the sport now. From that I was like, I got my breaks, and now I've taken them 100% with both hands. So now, I'm a completely different fighter. Mentally I'm different, because I was weak back then. You know, I've got over all those things now. I wouldn't dream of smoking a joint now or anything near that, you know what I mean? But back then, mate, put it in front of me, I couldn't say no, you know what I mean? I was bad, like I couldn't sleep without that stuff. Now I've overcame so much in my life that it makes me stronger. When it gets to the nitty-gritty in a fight, I used to train and be getting sick after training all the time, because it was like my lungs were in bits, you know what I mean? I did not jog, I never wanted to run because my lungs were that sore. I love to fight, I love to box, but like now I'm a dedicated professional, and when you say a professional, I do things right. I eat right, I train right, have the right, I make sure I sleep right, everything. Man, I'm starting to do yoga. Who does yoga? You know what I mean? I'm doing yoga now. Man, if you had asked me 4 years ago, I would have slagged someone that done yoga. You know what I mean? But now I'm doing everything in my power to be the best fighter that I can possibly be, because I can see I have a future in this now, and I can create a good life for my family and move on to bigger and better things. But I'm quite happy with already what I've accomplished, but I want so much more. I want so much more in this game.
Declan, one last word for you then. He said that you do nothing right. What do you think about what you do? Do you think you do it right? And what do you think about him as a fighter?
Mate, you're silly for taking this fight. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to just shut up. You're talking some smack down there. You love the sound of your voice.
Oh yeah, great comeback. Answer the man's question.
At the end of the day, you should have moving on and staying away from me. You had to getting drawn back into it, and then we're going to have a fight.
Drawn back into it? Okay. Every single interview you've done, you mentioned my name, you wouldn't shut up every single time. So I'm happy to give you this fight. Believe it or not, I'm giving you this fight.
Lovely.
Because I just want to smash you up. Someone says, I will pay you to punch Declan Garrity in the face. You do not have to ask me twice. You know what I mean? I got the phone call yesterday. I accepted this yesterday,
2 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, but that's good.
They made a fight, you know what I mean?
It's, yeah, do you know why they gave you? Because you had to think about it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They asked me yesterday, and I'm here today. You know what I mean? I was on a flight first thing this morning just to get here.
Lovely.
So, they had to ask you 2 weeks ago to see, because they don't know what type of man you are. Right. Anyone knows me, knows what type of man I am, knows I will not say no to this fight.
Every time I got offered the fight, I took it straight away.
I took this fight 3 times, 4 times. I never pulled out of this fight once. Before you hurt your hand in the last fight, I got a cut. I got 6 stitches. I didn't pull out the fight. This was 3 weeks before. I took the stitches out on Monday and I fought on that weekend. So that's what type of man I am. I went to the prize fight. I had to punch in the head off you. My backhand was killing me. I went to the prize fight with a torn ligament from your head, by the way, and I won that. Won 3 fights with a torn ligament. Mate, you are a different animal to me.
Okay.
It'll be interesting. That's going to be happening on the 30th at the SSE Arena. Declan against Jono. You'll have your ideas about who's likely to win it. I'm certainly looking forward to commentating on it. I think it's going to be a fairly feisty little encounter. So, Michael, welcome home.
Cheers, John. Pleasure to be here. First off, I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and you know, I'm a bit gutted sitting here at the table because I'm not going to get to see these guys because I'm going to be warming up and training myself, and it seems like it's going to be a really exciting undercard, and you know, it's unfortunate that I'll not see it.
What's it like coming home, provided everything works out okay, on March the 12th in Madison Square Garden? What's it going to be like coming home now to fight in Belfast?
You know, I'm really looking forward to coming home. I can't remember the last time I boxed in Belfast, even as an amateur. It was very rare towards the end of my career. So, you know, for me to come home and, you know, step into the Aussie Arena as the main event, as my first time being back in Belfast as a professional fighter, it's very special, and it's something I'm looking forward to, especially after seeing Card's last show and every single one of Card's shows. The atmosphere Belfast fans bring is, you know, it's very hard to match. I've boxed many places around the world, and I don't think I've felt the atmosphere than what I felt on Saturday 2 weeks ago.
It was stunning, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable.
Carl's referred to you as a man who can do in the future what he has done. He believes that you, in many ways, represent sort of the future of big-time boxing in Belfast. Does that rest heavily on you, or are you happy with that?
No, listen, I'm happy with it. I've always said that I would go on to do that, but with someone like Carl saying it, who is in that position now, and for me, I believe to do half of what Carl's done will be a huge achievement for anybody in anybody's career, even my own. But I do aim to surpass that and you know, go right to the top of the sport and be a multiple weight world champion.
All your fights so far have been in the States. I know there's a big Irish following, of course, in New York, in Boston, and other places around the States. But anybody who's followed around about the time of your fights on social media, you know, there's an immense following that you have over here in this country. How much are you aware of that when you're away fighting on foreign soil?
I'm very aware, especially when I fight in New York. You know, when I fight in New York, you see how much people travel over, and you know, I kind of feel that me coming home, and I made sure it was in my contract that I would be coming home with Top Rank. You know, I said to them is that I want to come home and put shoes on here because I feel it's just right for the fans who travel to see me every time. New York, Chicago, some fans even travel to Brisbane, Australia to watch me. So, you know, this one's for them, and you know, I do feel the atmosphere every time they come, and you know, it's something special, and I'm looking forward to it in the Odyssey.
Tell us about your fights on May the 12th, because you're one of the support fights for Lomachenko Linares, which is going to be at Madison Square Garden. Great name, isn't it? I mean, yeah. You fought there before. The idea of fighting at Madison Square Garden, it must be just wonderful.
Yeah, it's very special.
it's like my second home at this stage, but this will be the first time I'll fight in the big garden, and I'm fighting a Spanish kid who's 10-1, so you know he's going to bring something different than what my past opponents have. But as you see at the minute, I'm in the middle of making weight, so I'm not as talkative as usual. And you know it's something I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to getting next week out of the way, and I'm focused on it. I've been training really hard, sparring great, and you know I'm feeling the change of that in Booth since I've moved over there has been fantastic, and I feel I'm improving all the time as a fighter.
How much better do you think you are now, Mick, from when you began? What have you added? You know, how have you progressed?
I feel, you know, obviously the year in LA is going to stand me in great stead for the rest of my career, as you're in the gym every day, and it was wars and sparring. You know, I was toughing it out with world champions. You know, Jesse Magdaleno, who unfortunately lost that weekend, but Oscar Valdez also, and you know I was having great spars, great wars, but I felt the only thing for me which was going wrong was I was losing, of what I was best at, which was my boxing skill, and you know I feel I've come back with bottom now, and I've kind of improved in that, but I've learned a lot of boxing inside the ring, in the inside game, in the fighting game, and that kind of Mexican style of fighting. Yeah. You know, I kind of know how to adapt to it now, and obviously do it also. And
what's the time schedule? You know, you'd say next week you're going to be moving up in class. Really, this is on paper anyway the hardest opponent that you've faced by a distance. How long before you're getting up into title contention?
Obviously next week is another step up in class, and every fight has been. I haven't fought no one with a losing record, so you know every fight I take is a step up in class. The next one, Belfast, the potential opponent who we've talked about, a former world title challenger who we can't name yet until it's happening, but you know it's another step up in class, and then towards the end of the year I'll probably have another step up in class, maybe 1 or 2 more fights this year, and hopefully you know next year I'll get the rematch with the Russian from Rio, and then hopefully a world title after that.
Still irritating Big Brother?
No, I'm probably irritating him a lot more now actually, because he's management now. So you know it's been great having him on board, and you know he's always there to support me, always kind of help guide my career, and you know the role he's in now, he's doing a great job.
Turned out today to meet you and to hear from you and what your plans are for the future, and I'm sure as well that they'll be coming along on June the 30th, so I ought to just say that tickets will go on sale to the general public from the SSE Arena at 10 AM from all usual sources. Venue will be on pre-sales from tomorrow, and Michael's return will be televised live on BT and BoxNation, and I'm personally looking forward to it immensely. We'll be having a few photographs and such like in a moment or two, but before then, let's open it up to the floor. Any questions for the lads here which haven't been touched on? Fire away.
Michael, a lot is made of the knowledge of the Belfast boxing crowd, and with that they can be critical. What can they expect on June the 30th in terms of the show and the opponent you want to have for your own club? Yeah,
well, I think they can expect an awful lot. You know, I think the show itself, you know, this top table speaks for itself. You know, the guys here fighting each other, and you know, there's a lot of bad blood involved, and you know, I think that's going to be a great undercard. And with me and my opponent, it's another step up in class. I'm going to be fighting a dangerous opponent, someone who's challenged for world titles, fought the likes of Paddy Gallagher. You know, I can't really say much more on it, but it is going to be special, and it is going to be a good step up in class for me.
Do you see this as the start of regular fights here?
I would hope so. I have in my contract at least once a year in Ireland, so you know I think seeing how Belfast shows do go, I think if we leave a good impression on their top rank and stuff, I think they'll want to come back.
Is this going to live on ESPN?
Yeah, I think so. Jamie would know more.
Telling me something I didn't know.
I think it'll be going on ESPN plus this new thing, and then we'll be moving on to Gilberto Ramirez, I think, is fighting in Texas on the same night, so they're going to kind of do a cross-continent, whatever. So it looks like that anyway.
There's talk, Jamie, of Paddy being on the show. Is that still a possibility?
I think so. Paddy's in camp at the minute. He's came home for a rest day before he goes to Marbella to start his general preparation. You know, Mick, Paddy as a duo over the years have been fantastic. They're the ant and deck. I don't know who's the alcoholic, but
Paddy's definitely out.
Maybe Paddy, but they've been the ant and deck of Irish boxing growing up through the ABA, and I think it would be fitting to have Paddy on the bill. You know, Paddy's got something in the works, and it's ongoing at the minute, but it's big times ahead for everyone on the table, including Paddy Barnes.
Any more? Cougar, you're very quiet.
I'm saving it, John.
Anybody else? Come on, you've come along here to be a part of it. If you've got any questions, shout them out. Anybody?
How long till you fight Mark Compton?
Never. By the time I get to that stage, Carl has a few more fights left. I don't think I'll be in world title contention by then.
Any more? Right, well, thank you very much for coming along. We're going to be doing photographs for anybody who wants them, and you'll get your opportunity to do one-on-one interviews as well. So thank you very much for being here, and you know, from a personal point of view, I can't wait. It'll be a great night.